Hey everybody, welcome back.
Hello.
You gonna say it? I'm giving you the chance.
Oh, it's Wildcard Wednesday.
You're welcome.
Hello.
After you made a stink last time.
Well, you know what? I earned the stink.
For a second I thought you took my controller and I was like, wow.
Why would I take your controller? I'm winning.
Are you winning?
Yes, by 1 point.
Oh. Fluke.
Fluke.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it.
What a word that is.
Oh. So, quick topic.
Oh boy.
Not even topic, just a
No,
conversation
no,
I had.
no,
Bobby.
no! Aww. Anyways,
I'm winning.
I am still winning.
Oof.
Anyways, quick topic.
So I was talking with one of my good friends in Spokane the other day who I worked at McDonald's with, and we were discussing how, like,
Bye, B.
shoot! We were discussing how like neither of us had eaten McDonald's in a long time, ever since we both stopped working there, and then we then got on the topic of like what we used to really like at McDonald's, and then I started talking to him saying that, like, whenever somebody else mentions like fast food or McDonald's, it almost makes me feel like I used to have an addiction because
I mean, there are studies that show that fast food is as addicting as drugs.
Yeah, but like when, like, for example, if I were talking with somebody, son of a beanpole, and they mentioned McDonald's, I'd ask them, like, well, what did you have? You know, I'd be like, oh, did you put bacon on that McChicken? Maybe some cheese.
You make me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, so that's the kind of feeling I get whenever somebody starts talking about McDonald's. I'm like, oh, did you keep the onions on the sandwich?
Oh!
Oh,
Oh no! How the heck did that happen? I'm still winning, but
Gravity, mofo.
pretty good.
So I just wanted to.
Talk about your fast food addiction. Yeah, we get it.
Wow.
Wow.
Why don't you talk then, Katie?
Oh, I don't know. I used to work at KFC.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Awful. No other word to describe it. Just awful.
You don't even want to bring us a story?
Oh, I had many stories. The question, remember any of them? Probably not.
You're awful.
Why am I awful?
Because I'm sitting here trying to create good times, and you're just like, yeah, KFC, don't want to expand on it.
Well, okay, so there was one time, I think I told you about this time, and I think you were like, hey, Katie, you need to talk about this on the channel.
Oh, really?
There was one time at KFC, I used to work at KFC. I've worked twice there in my life. The first time was when I was in high school. It was my first job. Because, you know, what else can you do as a 16-year-old? So it was my first job, and then I hope you miss. Oh yeah. And I hated it because customers were mean, and not gonna lie, my boss at that time was literally the freaking worst. I still remember his name because it's the same name as my little brother. His name was Max.
Oh.
And he was I don't know if that was in the first minute, so I apologize.
No, it's not in the first minute. You're Gucci.
But he was such a jerk. He would always, like, make me feel like I was stupid because I didn't know how to break down a fryer properly the first night I was there.
Yeah.
Just stupid stuff. And it just sucked. So I quit. And I worked a couple of other odd jobs for a while, but I eventually went back to working at KFC.
Are you not going to be rude and take my other star since I'm sleeping?
No. But I eventually went back there because I had lost my job, and I don't want to talk about that much right now.
Yeah.
And so I went back, and it was a different manager this time. I actually loved those managers. But the clientele wasn't any better.
Oh, yeah?
And so one night, I used to work nights the second time I worked at KFC.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one customer, I remember, it was a KFC with Long John Silver's. If you guys didn't know, Long John Silver's is literally the worst.
Yeah.
Even more so than just KFC. And there's this woman who came by and ordered fish. And for every one fish, you get 2 tartar sauce packets.
Yeah, just like a sauce policy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This woman came and ordered a family-sized meal of fish. So 16 pieces of fish.
Oh my gosh.
It sucked.
That's fishy.
Well, and you had to make the fish fresh.
Yeah.
So it had to sit there and cook for like 5 minutes. She, after like ordering this ridiculous amount of food at a night, then has the audacity to be like, make sure you put a lot of sauce in there.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do my best. I put a handful of sauce because I just, at that point, I was pretty checked out and I didn't, no. And I didn't care as much.
Yeah.
So I just put a handful of sauce. I hand her the bag of food through the drive-thru window and she looks at me, she says, that's not enough sauce.
She doesn't even look in the bag, or?
No!
Oh my gosh.
And so I went and I grabbed another handful of sauce and I'm like, okay, whatever. She looked at me, she's like, that's still not enough sauce. And then, like, also, she was like, also, can you throw in some butter? And I'm like, you don't have biscuits.
Why
Can
would
you
she
throw
want
in-
butter for fish? That's disgusting.
It wasn't for the fish. I think she was broke.
Like poor.
Yeah. Oh, you suck. So, yeah, she would just, like, go through and, like, take all of our sauces.
That's crazy.
It was I was like, this is a joke.
See, I had a couple of mean customers too back when I worked at McDonald's. Like, which story do I want to share?
I don't know.
I had a similar customer that would like always be like a pain about like sweet and sour sauce. And it was a high schooler, and so little backstory for any time I share a McDonald's story. My McDonald's was located right next door, and our high school is in Washington. Which,
Full of rednecks.
well, not just that. I was gonna say what sucks is that weed
better
is
not.
legal in Washington.
You bet. Oh.
Oh yeah.
I still win. I
What?
still won.
Wait, was that the last level?
Yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. I still won.
No!
Anyways, yeah, weed is legal in Washington
Yeah.
for recreational use as well as medical use.
Yeah, and so high schoolers would always come by stoned out of their mind in the drive-thru late at night. And there was this one high schooler that he would come through almost every night with his friends.
How did
And
they
just
get
be-
weed if they're in high school?
I don't know.
Well, look at him dance.
They probably just got like a friend to get it or something.
Anyways, so he would come through and order just food and then get a shit ton of sauce.
Yeah, so like he would just order like, do we want to do another? Or?
Sure.
Okay. Wait, why not? We'll make a good thing out of this. Like three episodes.
Well, you just click the same
Shucks.
levels. You gotta go back.
There we go. Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright.
Sure.
Or should we do Cracko, Gordo?
Shine and bright.
Okay. Anyways. Oh, we'll go and get it.
Duck. Anyways,
So he would come through, and he would always come through whenever we had the McPick. Why is it not freaking?
do we have to do this again?
Yeah.
You just gotta hit start. Exact way.
There we go. Anyway, so he would come through all the time, especially when we had the McPick 2 for $3, because he would always get a ton of McChickens and cheeseburgers, and it was awful. And anyway, so he would always come through and get McChickens, and his thing was he loved having sweet and sour sauce for his McChickens, which, like, that's fine. You can get a sauce packet with a sandwich, but he wouldn't ask
Doesn't
until...
McDonald's have it's like every extra sauce packet's like 25 cents?
It's 10 cents, depending
Okay.
on the location, I think. Like, different states might be different, but at my McDonald's, cents per sauce packet extra, or something like that. And so, oh, dang
Oh,
it.
thanks, Kyle, for the free point.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so, but you're allowed to have one free sauce per order, and then depending on your other items, you can have other sauces. But so he would always ask for sweet and sour sauce at the window, and I'd tell him several times over so that I wouldn't have to go in and open his bag every time he gets to the window to put in sweet and sour sauce and hold up the rest of the line just to put sweet and sour sauce in his bag. But I'd tell him at the window every time, like, hey, if you ever want sweet and sour sauce, just say it at the monitor, like, it's fine. And he'd always forget every time. You like how I did that?
No.
And like I even would ask him when he's at the monitor, like, do you want sweet and sour sauce? Because like once you start hearing certain customers over and over again, you recognize their voices. And so I'd ask him, be like, do you want sweet and sour sauce with your order? And he literally, dead ass, was like, no, I don't want any sweet and sour sauce.
Dead ass.
And then would get to the window and have the audacity to ask me for sweet and sour sauce. And I literally looked at him and said, no, have a good night.
Oh. Like
But-
every time or just one time?
Just that one time. Just because I literally asked him at the window.
Yes!
But yeah, no, it was a rough time. Because he would always come through and just, like, be a total pain. And, like, another time he came through the drive-thru. And he came through one time and got a bunch of food with his friends. And then they just parked in the parking lot and ate the food. And then came back through for dessert. Okay? And so then... What is that?
I have no idea. But I'm hitting it.
Well, that was wild. Maybe it's, like, just shuts me or whatever.
Maybe.
Oh, no!
Can you not hit it anymore?
Yeah, once you hit it twice, it's done for.
Yes.
But, anywho, so he came back through to get some, like, more food because they were still hungry. And he stops at the window,
Aw.
stares at me for a good 5 seconds after I handed him his stuff and just said, I'm really high right now, and then floors it out of the drive-thru.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's like, okay, high schoolers, I guess.
High schoolers.
You're welcome. I'm full of the jokes.
I don't think this is going to work, but I am going to try it.
Did I ever tell you, speaking of work stories, did I ever tell you about the time that I had...
No!
I guess I didn't tell you. Don't touch me!
Oh, I'm even farther away now. This sucks. Are you
Anyways.
just going to take my stars?
Yeah.
Will ye?
Well, yeah.
Anyways, what?
Did I ever tell you about the time that I had a firefighter throw trash at me in the drive-thru?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Just to let everybody else know about it, one time when I was in the drive-thru in the middle of our lunch rush, there was this firefighter, and I knew he was a firefighter because he would always come through in his firefighter vehicle, like from the station.
Vehicular device.
Yeah, and he always came through and got like a large Diet Coke, like that was just his order. And I handed him his drink, and the automatic drink dispenser we have in McDonald's like filled it up a little bit more than usual because the dude always wanted like extra ice. And so he went to grab the cup from me, squeezed it really hard, even though it was obviously full, and then like the drink started coming out onto the top of the lid. And it didn't spill on him, but he got pissed off. And so he was like, "You gonna hand me some napkins or something?" And I was like, yeah, sure, here you go."
This is stupid.
And then he, yeah, you're like bouncing around. But then he wiped off his drink and then proceeded to throw all of the wet napkins and the straw trash at me and then floored it out of there. And it's like, wow, thanks, man. Like, that's pretty cool.
See, working fast food is honestly one of the worst jobs you could ever have. Like,
Yeah.
you can have some really like nice regular customers and everything, but
It doesn't make up for like the crappy customers that come through every day too, because there's always just those groups of people that are just awful to you no matter what. Like you could do everything right and they'll still just treat you like crap. So it's
So
a
I
good
have
time.
to ask Kyle, because you and I both not only worked fast food, but we also both worked retail.
Yeah.
Which do you think is worse? Because you used to work at Kohl's.
Yeah, I used to work at Kohl's. I gotta say, customer-wise,
Yeah!
it's really hard to say, because at Kohl's, I would have people throw fits if they were trying to like do like a discount like several days later or whatever, and like do like a refund and then repurchase kind of thing, just to choose coupons, thinking that they would get more money back. And there would be people that would miscalculate their own math and then blame us for it, and then force us to give them the price that they thought they were going to pay. So that was a load of crap. Whereas like with McDonald's, I could at least be like, hey, like, no. But like with Kohl's, we can't.
Say no to a customer.
Well, McDonald's, you're not supposed to say no to a customer either. But like at Kohl's, valued the customer much more, I want to say. Like, McDonald's definitely valued their customers, but Kohl's was very all for the customer.
Well, McDonald's
Son of a bean!
Kohl's or McDonald's also values like fast food. Like,
Yeah, well, McDonald's is a
service.
penny company. Every penny is a profit. Whereas, like, Kohl's, every customer is a profit. So they value keeping a customer and keeping them satisfied much more over keeping their own penny profits. Because their belief,
customer first.
yeah, their belief is that if they keep the customer happy, then they'll come back and spend more money, even if today is a bad kind of thing. Whereas
See,
McDonald's,
I don't know how well that works.
it's weird because, like, it works in the sense that people come back, but those same people just keep coming back and, like, trying to screw you over. And it's I don't know. Both methods kind of have their drawbacks, and, like, yeah, it's rough. Well, this is a time. There
I
we go.
know.
I would probably have to say customers in McDonald's were worse, because there's nothing worse than having people get really pissed for things that aren't your fault, and especially when it has to do with their food.
Why you gotta hit me?
Gotta do what I gotta do, man. Gotta play the game.
See, because where I worked at retail, admittedly wasn't as bad as Kohl's. So I actually used to work for Kyle's family's business.
What the heck is that power up?
No.
Do it.
I don't know, what is it?
You turn
Icy
into an
boy?
ice ball?
Anyway, so I used to work
Frozone?
at the motorcycle shop that Kyle's family owns, and that wasn't that bad. Like, I left for very personal reasons,
Yeah.
which had mainly to do with just, like, you know, pursuing what I wanted to pursue as a career and that sort of thing. So, which was fine. Like, you know, everybody has to leave for their own reasons. So, that's why I left that job. But for a while, it was honestly like one of my favorite jobs to be at. Even if I had customers and crackheads.
Hobos. Yeah, that was a wild time.
I would say though,
Come on. Oh.
probably my favorite job I've ever worked at though was my hospital job.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I used to be a therapy aide at 2 hospitals in Spokane that are sister hospitals. Should we believe out where we're from or not?
I can do whatever.
Okay.
Just don't say the hospitals. Just say
No.
Hospital 1 and Hospital 2.
So Hospital 1 was the smaller of the 2 hospitals that I worked at beginning of college, kind of, like mid-college. Don't hit the button.
I'm going
Don't hit the button.
Well, that didn't effing work. Anyways.
So I used to work there on the weekends and like not really super often because it was more part-time.
Yeah.
I
hope you launch yourself
no.
right off the edge.
Oh, I can't get it though.
Big oof.
And then Hospital 2 is the bigger hospital that I got moved to eventually when I was working there full time. But what I loved about it was, one, I got to be around therapists. So that's the profession that I have picked as a career.
Yeah.
Oh!
Son of a biscuit. Holy nuts.
And so that was really cool getting to see therapists and how they interact with their patients. And like, I learned so much from that job. Like, just who I am and like what I want to do and why I want to be in that field.
No.
Kyle's over here freaking out and I'm telling a very wholesome story. Anyways, so in the end, I want to actually go back to either one of those hospitals, really.
I hate my life.
I want to go back to either one of those hospitals to work eventually because I loved it so much. And also, we should probably wrap this episode up.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a perfect spot to end on.
Yeah.
All right, bye, you guys.
Bye.